guys, this is Adam with you from home for a change, not the car, and I'm going to do two things in this video. First, I'm going to preview a tour that I have upcoming with Sir Rod and the Blues Doctors. I'm happy to announce that we just got an award nomination for Best Debut Recording from Blues Blast magazine. I think it's best anyway, it's for our debut album, which is a really good thing, kind of new artist, best new artist debut, I think it is. And so I'm going to preview the tour that we've got coming up. We're going to be in 4 East Coast states, starting on the 6th of July, so real soon. I'm doing this on the 2nd. The second thing I'm going to do, if you stick with me through that little tour preview, is I'm going to move into the study, and I'm going to play through the 3 amps that I'm bringing on the road with me. I'm going to talk a little bit about their sounds. So if you're an amp nut, you want to hear some good amplified blues harp through 3 different amps and then in 2 different 2-amp combinations, stick with me. Okay, so what do we got going? Tour starts with a gig on Tuesday, July 6th in Richmond, Virginia. We're playing at a place called The Camel. So it's been a year since I've been in Richmond. I was there as a solo artist, I think back in 2012 or 11. First time, so in a decade, that the Gussow will be doing the Richmond thing. Nat Riddles, my old teacher, lived there for a long time. I have wonderful memories of being in jam sessions in Richmond, so by all means, come down if you can. The next day, we're going to be in Summit, New Jersey. We are some driving mofos. We'll be in Summit, New Jersey at the Reeves Reed Arboretum. Alan and I played there about 5 years ago, but now we've got Rod, frontman. We're going to bring our own PA, so we've got a big badass show. That is on Wednesday, the 7th of July. We're playing from 7 to 8:15, the Reeves Reed Arboretum. And by the way, I'll give you a link to my gig page, so you'll have hyperlinks and you can easily go to these events. We're going to take a day off. I don't know what we're doing on Thursday, but on Friday, July 9th, we're going to be in the Philly area in Lansdowne, Pennsylvania, at Jamie's House of Music. This is one of the East Coast's premier listening rooms. Now, I don't know about you, when somebody says listening room, I think, oh, not a good room for blues, because we don't want people to listen. We want people to party. We want people to enjoy themselves. But in this case, what listening means, and I was told this by the guy who books the place, they've got like $250,000 worth of sound equipment. The guy who runs it is a sound nerd beyond belief, and so it's basically a really, really good sound. We probably will do a live recording there. I mean, he will do a live recording, maybe a live album. So come in if you're a Philly area fan of Satan and Adam. This is your chance. First time I've been there since, I mean, God knows when. I was in Steelton, Pennsylvania, up by Harrisburg. I haven't played Philly for a long time. I think with Satan and Adam, we came back and did something in 2009. It may have been that long since I've played in the Philly area. So that's your chance. On Saturday, July 10th, we're going to be in New Rochelle, my old stomping grounds. I'm from Rockland County. New Rochelle sort of across the river. New Rochelle, New York. We're playing at the New Rochelle Jazz Festival, but that's sort of a glorified way of saying that we're playing at a private home belonging to, now get this, Lloyd Fricker was the guitar player in my very, very first band back in high school when I was 16 or 17 years old. Lloyd, and amazingly, Lloyd and I have remained friends all this time, and he's putting on this thing. It's the last gig within the New Rochelle Jazz Festival, so we're playing there. It's really cool. It's a free show, but it's like we're not charging admission. We're just leaning on you and saying, please give $10 to $20 donation. But, you know, if you're down on your luck, you can come and just throw a couple of bucks in, but we hope you'll come and throw more than that in, because tours are hard to put on these days. So that's in New Rochelle, 6 to 8 p.m. plus whatever else goes on. On the 11th, which is Sunday the 11th, we don't have a gig, but we're planning to do something really fun. Please don't ask for more details than I can give you. We're planning on going down to Harlem and setting up and busking in Harlem, across the street from the spot where Sterling McGee, Mr. Satan, and I used to play. I have no other details. We may put something, hopefully we'll remember to put something on sort of Facebook. Maybe we'll do Facebook Live. Point is, if you're in New York, it's a Sunday, and you're anywhere near Harlem, you might want to come to the Adam Clayton Powell Jr. State Office Building sometime in mid-afternoon, because that's when we're planning on being there. Just a thought. All right, 2 more gigs to the tour, and then we head back home to Atlanta and Mississippi, respectively. Monday the 12th, we're going back to a town that we played a lot. Satan and Adam played a lot in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, home of the Little League World Series. We never were there for the series, but we played Franco's many times, and Fred Daniele has helped me organize a gig at the Bullfrog Brewery from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m., Williamsport, Pennsylvania, Monday the 12th. And then the big gig, I mean, they're all big gigs, but the big gig, it's also the longest gig. It's going to be, it's just your old 4-hour bread and butter New York gig, but it's at Terra Blues. We're playing on Tuesday, July 13th. So for all my New York fans, for all our New York fans, the Satan and Adam people, remember Rod Patterson, Sir Rod of Sir Rod and the Blues Doctors, is Mr. Satan's nephew. We're going to be doing a lot of Satan and Adam songs. So come down to Terra Blues. You know where it is. It's on Bleecker Street. It's where it's always been. I think the Satan and Adam photo may still be somewhere up there on that front wall. It was last time I was there. Thank you, Elon, for this gig. Believe it or not, I believe it's the first time I've ever done the 10 to 2 gig at Terra Blues. All those years I lived in New York, I sometimes, Satan and Adam would do the 7 to 10. I would duo with somebody, sit in with Irving Lewis Latin, maybe occasionally Bill Sims, maybe 7 to 10. I'd sit in. This is the 10 to 2 gig, so it's the late gig at Terra Blues. Please come down. We want to do this again. So, all right, we're going to move to the study, and I hope you're ready because we've got some loud, live blues harp going on. Not live, but, you know, I was playing. Okay, well, thanks for sticking with me through the sort of upcoming tour itinerary. Now we're going to have a little bit of fun. I'm looking at the 3 amps that I'm planning to bring on the road, and of course, if you know me, you know that I always play through a pair of amps. I should be looking at the camera. So if you know me, you know that I always play through a pair of amps, and when I go on the road, and this happened last time, one of the reasons I bring 3 amps is that I want, number one, I want sometimes a smaller pair for smaller rooms and a more mixed pair for larger venues, for outdoors. So I've got the Premier. I want you to take a look at what I'm going to test today. I've got the Premier Twin 8. Some of you have seen this in videos over the years. This is an amp that I like. 2 8-inch speakers, about 10 to 12 watts, I think. And it's great. It's a little loud for smaller rooms in the duo setting or the trio setting that I'm in, but it's great for outdoors, and it's great for larger rooms when I want more punch. In the middle, I've got a little Masco MU-5, I think this is. Masco MU-5. I got it, a second owner. One guy had it for 30 or 40 years. It's a little beat up, but it always works, and it saved my butt last time because it worked. And this one here, the K, my workhorse, which, by the way, you know, the solo albums that I've done, Crossroads Blues, for example, was done on the pair of the K and the Premier, and Sunshine of Your Love and all that. So I've recorded a lot with that pair of amps, a little bit with the Masco, but mostly with these two. Well, this one crapped out last time. And so I sent it to a guy named Brian Amundsen, who fixed it. He sort of brought it back to absolute spec. It's sounding really good, or it was sounding really good. So let's see how these amps sound individually, and then I'll hook them up in a couple of duo rigs, and you'll tell me. It'll be hard to hear the difference in volume, but you may well hear some interesting things tonally speaking. And each of the amps has its own personality. They are all old tube amps, so that's what they have in common. And they're all actually, well, the Premier and the K are from the 60s, early 60s. Premier might actually be late 50s. The Masco is from the mid 50s. I think it's a 54 or something like that. Okay, Gussow speaking here. What we've got is we've got my Shure PE5H. That's the mic that I play through, that I'll be playing through. PE5H. I've got an MXR carbon copy analog delay, and I'm playing now through each amp in turn. So let's see how the Premier sounds. Okay, took me a little while to get the to get the Premier dialed in. I think it's dialed in now. I like smaller amps rather than larger amps, so for me, this is kind of a smaller amp. I mean, this is kind of a larger amp, excuse me. Now I can get a lot more treble by tuning the tone knob up. Too wild, I think. All right. Well, okay, so now I'm in the Masco, And the first thing for me is it's so much lower in volume, but you may not hear that because when I start to play, the camera may sort of adjust volume. But it's a great sound, and it kind of, you tell me. Let's try the K, and I think the K is actually it's sort of the sweet spot between the two. So now we're in the K on the right. So for me, I mean, it's a small amp. Here in this little room, it's not that loud. When I put two amps together, well, you'll see. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hook the Masco and the K up together. And I'm going to move the Premier to the side so that the Masco and the K are just spread out a little bit. And you'll hear the sound we get with two. It's a whole lot more than one. 1, 2. All right. Now, we've got the Masco and the K. They're all at operating volume. I may need to tweak them a little bit. Let's see how this works. Wow. Well, it's working pretty well. I might want to tweak this down slightly. I don't know. I kind of like it. That's a good sound. And when that's mic'd up through the PA, you'll have a very good sound indeed. Yeah, good sound. All right. One final combination. So this is a combination that I will use. The Masco and the K, a combination I will use in smaller rooms, and I'll mic the K usually. Now I'm going to put the Premier, I'm going to swap the Premier in for the Masco, and in larger rooms and outdoors, I'll use those two. 1, 2. All right. Premier and K. So right down in front where you guys are, it's sounding a little trebly to me. I might turn this down slightly. I think that's what I'll do. There's all kinds of tweaks that we make when we're playing live. Hardly hear that at all, but... Well, I'll see you guys on the road, and now you know a little bit more about my rig, and I don't know how much of that sound comes through, but I'm hoping that you can hear what I hear, which is, interestingly enough, when I did those 3 amps individually, I realized that I had not actually played played through individual amps in a long time. In other words, I'm so used to using two. When you use the Premier and the K, for example, what's happening is the K is serving sort of like the tweeter to the Premier. So the Premier, it sort of holds down the bottom end, and then that high end comes right off the little amp. And when I mic the little amp, it just works really well. Anyway, see you on the road.